guys, welcome back to my channel. If you are new, welcome. Thank you for stopping by. So we are back at it again with another life video, and today's topic is something that is really personal to me because I have this conversation with my friends and family all the time, and I consider you guys my friends and my family. So it's about time we had a little chat, a real chat. And sticking on the theme with all of these videos, today I want to talk about how to be a happier person and build happier and healthier relationships with people around you. So without further ado, let's get right into it. You guys know I can ramble on a little bit. So the first thing I kind of want to talk about to kind of start the narrative is your relationship with yourself. So once you realize that every relationship that you have is a mirror of yourself, you will start to kind of analyze why you connect with certain people, the type of relationships you have with certain people, and the value of that relationship. So if you do not seek high value in yourself, love in yourself, then you will realize that a lot of the relationships around you also mirror that same behavior. So we first have to check ourselves, and not check ourselves in a bad way, but just look and see how we are really loving and treating ourselves. And once we kind of change that, everything else around us will mirror that good behavior and those good traits, and our relationships will start to reflect that. So I have noticed personally that my relationships have been a lot better in the past recent years. And that is because I'm treating myself a lot better. I'm loving myself. I'm holding myself to a higher standard. And I'm also being gracious with myself and being more understanding. We tend to put ourselves down more than others do. And then so when it comes to other people, we're so quick to judge and so quick to put people down because we hold ourselves in a guilty kind of mindset. We never let ourselves we never forgive ourselves for the things that we do or don't do in our lives, and that translates into our relationships. So if you are noticing certain things, take a moment to kind of look at how you treat yourself. And once you start there, you can now apply some of these other things to your life. That leads me to the 4 agreements. And guys, if you have not heard about this, you definitely need to look it up. I love the 4 agreements. It's also a book, so if you guys want to pick up the book, you can, but there are tons of videos on it on YouTube. And basically, there are 4 things that you are agreeing to yourself to keep you in a better state of mind, keep your soul just free and at peace. And basically, it's always do your best. Be impeccable with your word. Don't take anything personal, and don't assume. And I have been applying those 4 things to my life, and they have really changed the way I perceive myself and others. And this in turn is helping me build better bonds with other people, and also keeping a good bond with myself, because I'm not always in this state of fear, state of worry, state of unhappiness. A lot of things bother us, and they don't bother us for any other reason but besides the reasons that we hold inside. So if somebody's doing something and you're being irritated, it's not because that person's doing something. There's something inside of you that is not okay with what's going on. It doesn't have anything to do with anyone else. And once you realize that certain things don't have anything to do with anybody else but you, it's all kind of like a realignment and like a checking point. And a lot of things always stem with ourselves. And we have to take that time out to get to know who we are and build that person up so that our life looks like the way we want it to. And we have that power, we have that control. There are a lot of external things that go on that kind of break us down and try to keep us off track. And a lot of these authors and videos out here are designed to help us and reel us back in. So if you don't know about the 4 agreements, make sure you definitely check that out because it will help you a lot. This is something that I talk to my friends a lot about, and I kind of have like a cute little exercise, especially like with my friends that are couples. Transparency and communication. These 2 things go hand in hand, and they are super big when it comes to being a happier person and building happier relationships with other people. When you are a transparent person, there's no weight on your shoulder. It really isn't. It's like when you're transparent and you are true to who you are and who you want to be in that moment in time, because who we are changes. It's something that develops all the time. We're not just stagnant. We always are growing, always are learning, if you're willing to. So when you are being your authentic self in that moment, you shouldn't feel any shame from it. And transparency is something that a lot of people struggle with, and that's because of society. That's because of society putting these things on us, making us feel like we have to be a certain person or another. And it doesn't make people feel comfortable with being who they are. But when you get to a place where you can be transparent and be who you are, it is the most freeing thing in the world. And then number 2 is communication. So that goes hand in hand. If you are not communicating how you feel, good, bad, indifferent, then you won't really get anywhere with anyone or yourself. You shouldn't lie to yourself. You shouldn't lie to others. You shouldn't have to kind of curve or, tiptoe around certain things. You should be able to fully communicate how you're feeling, and this will definitely help you build better bonds. If you strengthen your communication skills, I find that people kind of respect you more. It's like no matter if the situation is good or bad, as long as you guys communicated about it, then you can at least come to like a common ground on it. But it also, I want to kind of keep reiterating this, to don't take anything personal. That is probably one of the hardest things that I've had to kind of curb for myself, because I take everything personal. Everything that somebody do, I'm like, oh, it's a personal attack on me. And it's like, it's really not, because when you think about when people do stuff, it's only a reflection of them. It doesn't have anything to do with you. This is where we have to kind of check our ego at the door, because everything that a person does is not always a personal attack on you or to harm you, or sometimes it is. Let's be real. Sometimes people do things, just for their own enjoyment, but that also still stems back to something inside of them that they had to behave in this sort of way. So you can't take anything personal. It is a growing place to be, to really fully get there. But I think if you put in that time and put in that effort, that will be something that you can achieve. I always say that like communication and transparency is like a lock and a key, right? So it's like you can't open the lock without the key. The key is pretty much pointless without a lock. Like they don't work without each other. So if you start to apply these things, being more transparent, being more open, that will also, I feel like, in turn help you be more open with talking, because sometimes people don't feel like they want to communicate because they're afraid of what somebody's going to say, or they don't know how it's going to be perceived. But if you are always being transparent and being your authentic self, communication will start to become easy at that point. I'm going to put these two together, and it is operating from your heart space and giving only pure intentions. So I talked about the ego a little bit just now, but kind of letting that ego kind of go and really operating from your heart space and doing pure intentions only. So if you are always doing your best, you're always setting out the good intentions with someone, then good things will start to return back to you. If you are not operating from your heart space, you're coming from a petty place or an evil place, and we all have those things inside of us. We all get angry, we all get upset, but we have to always center back and operate with love. If you truly want better relationships and to be a happier person, you will apply these things to yourself, no matter how out of reach they may seem. Trusting in divine timing, and this is a big one. This is a control, like a release of control, because I feel like that's what we as people always struggle with, that control factor. And when you trust in divine timing, The things that you are working on and that you are putting out in the universe only will return back to you. It's just all in timing. You might feel like you need something right here, right now, but it may not be the time. It may be some other things that you have to go through and you have to learn before those things manifest in your life at that particular time. So again, society puts that time restraint on us a lot. They put time on women for being married, children. They put time on men for being successful. Just so many things, they put this time on it, and everyone's path is different. I had to learn a few things too about my journey and how things are going, and now I'm stepping back and looking at it, and I wouldn't have it any other way. My timing is going the way that it should go. Yes, there were parts in my life where I'm like, I want to be here, I want to be there. I'll be 30 this year. My younger self always thought I would be a mom and married by this age. But now that I am living in this time, I wouldn't have it no other way. I wouldn't want to be a mom before this time in my life. So trust in divine timing. Don't sell yourself short. Don't be hard on yourself. Let that guilt go. Forgive yourself for opportunities that you may have let slip you by, and just realize that everything is in divine timing. And yeah, I think that is it, guys. So I think I just want to really convey to you guys that's why I kind of grouped in being a happier person and having healthy, happy relationships, because it always stems with yourself. So these two go hand in hand, and I think that's the biggest thing I really want to convey. Be nice to yourself, be kind to yourself, love yourself, and once you practice those things, it'll be a lot easier to practice those on other people. And be kind to people. Everyone is going through something. That's where that ego, again, has to be checked. Even though maybe someone hurt you or they did something to you, you never know what is really deeply going on inside of that person to make them behave that certain way. So be kinder to people, show that kindness, and it'll come back to you tenfold. So I just want to recommend some books before I go. I already mentioned The 4 Agreements. You guys need to definitely pick that up. His Needs, Her Needs is more on the relationship side. It's a marriage book, so it'll really help you out if you are in that space right now in your life where you're about to get married, you want to be married. Either if you're in a marriage, I think it's something that everyone should pick up. And then I'm reading right now The Untethered Soul, which is a really great book. It's a soul searching book, and it's a really good read. So let us know down below if you have any books around this topic that you would love to recommend to us, and let's keep the dialogue going in the comments. Thank you so much again for watching, and I will see you in my next one. Peace.